Sound of Freedom is one of those films that can legitimately change this world. So we want to ignite a fire in audiences and open their eyes to the dark reality of millions of children that need our help. Let's make this film a historic event and the start, the end of child trafficking. Theaters across this country are already selling out. Pre-order your tickets today, and you can send the message that God's children are no longer for sale.
Here it is, the Bakotunes podcast with mattomunoz. Audio brought to you by Chain Cone Clark.
Hey, Bakotunes podcast listeners. The following bonus episode features writer, musician, and my Mento Brew bandmate, Cesareo Garasa, who stopped by to chat it up about one of our favorite things, movies. One thing about Cesareo is that he can dissect any film you put in front of him, and he watches everything. He's done movie reviews in the past, but rarely does a polarizing film like Sound of Freedom come along. So of course we had to talk about it. As of this Bakotunes episode drop, I have not seen the film yet, I'm sorry, but don't hate me or cast stones yet, I just haven't had the time. I will see it soon and have my own thoughts on it. But right now, here's Cesareo's brief overview of the film starring Jim Caviezel, who most people refer to as the guy who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, as well as his own experience of seeing the film in the theater with a packed house. Yes, here you go. Enjoy. What was the last movie you saw? Because the theme of the show is like movies.
The last movies I saw were Mission Impossible on Thursday and Sound of Freedom
Okay, let's
nights ago.
Pick one that you want to talk about.
Well, Sound of Freedom. That was an interesting one. Yeah. First of all, I went because I wanted to see what it was.
What all the rage was about.
Yeah, I wanted to see just the people that were detracting it, the critics were talking about, and all the ones that are just kind of, almost compellingly go see this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing was Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom. It's a movie with Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ,
yeah.
And it's this movie about human trafficking.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to tell you. But Cesareo.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody out there's probably come across it, this movie in their social media feeds, because it's become like a topic of promotion, of debate, of this and that.
Oh yeah,
all kinds of crazy stuff. So break it down real quick.
There was for a while. It was almost impossible to go through social media and see a post about a movie like Oppenheimer and Barbie, which are out today. Yeah. By the way, and Barbenheimer is a real thing. But without somebody,
I'm going to see Barbie.
I'm going to see both.
I'm going to see both.
I'm going to see both. I'll probably see both the same day. But
Sound of Freedom. What's this?
But the
Sound of Freedom, Barbieheimer.
Yeah,
all right.
But like with any post about those movies or any other movies would eventually get hijacked by somebody going, Sound of Freedom, best movie of 2023. So I had to see this movie. And it's, as a movie, first of all, a little background. It was made 5 years ago. Its release was delayed. It's been out now, supposedly under a limited release. They said 2 months in the movie itself. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true or not. It's making too much money. But, I mean, the theater that I went to was completely packed, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. As a movie itself, it's not a bad movie. Mm-hmm. It's I think it fetishizes the abuse that these kids are going into, and it's disgusting because there's no more sympathetic a victim than these kids that are in these movies, or just in general.
If you're going to do a movie about kids being abused, automatically it's just like,
and it's just like it's like. Yeah, these poor. But anyways, what ends up happening is that they linger on the before, and they'll show like the poor kid on the bed and just crying, and then some drunk guy walking in with a bottle of booze, and then he comes up and he's all lecherous, and he holds the kid's face in his hand, and he's just looking, and the little kid's just looking destroyed and just like distraught, and they close the curtains, and your imagination takes care of the rest of it. And they do this, a couple times in the movie. They show reaction scenes of people watching these things, and it's horrible.
So it's like there's multiple stories. Is it focused on two particular kids?
Yeah, it's focused on two particular kids that were kidnapped from their dad in Honduras, and the lead character that Jim Caviezel plays, he's works for the government, and he's tasked himself to
be like go rescue kids.
Yes, absolutely.
So
and
he goes to Honduras.
Well, actually, he goes to Colombia and all these different places. But I don't really want to say too much about what the movie does or is.
Yeah.
It's based on a true story, but I don't know how much of the details of the movie are.
So it's like Flamin' Hot.
That's exactly the movie that came into mind, because it's like I watched Flaming Hot too, and a lot of it you can tell like it's been done for the movies, just to kind of like do for the movies. So a lot of the details, and just like with Flaming Hot, with the contradictions of, well, he didn't really invent that. A lot of the details that Jim Caviezel's character he done have also been kind of contradicted as well. Tim Ballard's his name. There's the character he plays, and he's a real person, a former government agent. And so some of the statistics that they put at the end for the Polaris Project, that the numbers that they have on angels.com, which is the movie studio that did it, are kind of, you have to like look a little bit more to see in context, just to see how accurate they are, which is a terrible thing to say, because you just want to be able to go, this is true, this is what happened,
and this is how you can help.
But the thing is, this is what got me, and that I didn't really like and left me with a bad taste in my mouth, is that the movie as a movie is fine. If it would have ended, I would have felt like I saw a good movie. It was not a great movie.
It sounds like something that, like, if it was on Netflix and you saw it like at number one, I'd watch it, because why is it number one? It's probably pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like,
it's got the guy who played Jesus.
Exactly. And speaking of, Caviezel came in during when you're watching the end credits, that there's a sign on the screen that says, stay for a message, or it says a message from Jim Caviezel starting in, and then the countdown starts. And then,
does he look like Jesus?
No, he's got the blonde hair. He's actually, he kind of looks like.
Is he blonde?
No, they bleach blonde it for the movie. He kind of looks like.
So he's based on a real character. Okay,
yes.
I gotcha.
So he looks like Jim. So, anyways. Sorry, Tim Ballard. I was getting Tim Pepper. So, anyways, he goes on screen and he starts talking to the audience, and he says, "Thank you for watching the movie. If you feel a little bad or a little sad or a little disappointed, all these things, it's completely understandable." But he comes with a couple of quotes. He quotes that that Steve Jobs said, "The most important people in the world are the storytellers," and he says that that what they want to do is they want to tell this story to help, with this problem of worldwide sex trafficking and these kids and the people being kidnapped and everything else. But the way that they suggest you do it is to buy tickets to the movie and pay it forward. So they actually ask you to take your camera out and there's a QR code on the screen, and you can buy tickets from the angels.com, which is angelstudios.com website, and pay $15 for one, or pay for 2 tickets, or 3 or 10 or 30 or however many you want, so they can pay it forward, so anybody that wants to see the movie can do it. But there is really no information unless you really start going into the website about actual organizations you can send money to. They actually say on the website they don't endorse any specific or particular organization, then that people should be encouraged to look up on their own and do it. And I'm going, wait a minute, watching Traffic didn't help me outside of awareness of what it was like from the perspective of these 3 fictional characters. Didn't really help, with the drug trade that was happening in the United States, just as much as me watching this movie with its own questionable stats, which I feel bad even saying are questionable, especially after doing a little bit of research after the movie, because it's like whenever you see these numbers, my initial reaction is, wait, are these real? Is that for real? Because it's like they're telling you right off the bat, the storyteller is the most important person. They're telling you a story the same way that Flamin' Hot's telling you a story. They're telling a story from the point of view of one character, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you're not getting like this really fleshed out kind of like big picture kind of thing. You're seeing this exploitation movie tell you that this is trying to act like if it's a grand sense of like this grand sense of drama, like it's the final word on what's actually happening. And the only way or the best way that we can do to help this particular problem is to see the movie.
Yeah.
And have other people see the movie. And I'm like, no.
Well, when you tell me like everybody has to put up as if going to the movies and trying to not deal with people, the glare off of people's phones, and then all together, let's all raise our phones together. They finally just surrendered. Everybody put your phone up, and
and I'll tell you, for the whole QAnon thing and everything else like that, that was kind of globbed onto it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's I think a lot of the people that were watching the movie because they applauded it at the end of the message, there was a huge reaction, a huge applause, and nobody in that theater would go in there thinking, oh, I don't want to do anything about this. I was not affected by the reality of what this actually is. But I think the part that gets me the most just kind of disappointed is that just how politicized it's become, and how you did these conspiracy theories and just this peripheral nonsense has been globbed onto this and made into like it's almost like an ethical thing for you not to say anything about this movie, or to just accept the movie, or we must do something for the kids. Yes, obviously, let's do something for the kids. But watching a movie and then buying tickets for other people to watch the movie, all it's doing is raising awareness of it, which is good in and of itself. But it's a false sense of doing something, and at the same time, the movie itself, I don't know how much of the money from the studio is actually going towards actual organizations. That'd be good to know. That's another thing to research. But saying
how much is admin costs, as they say,
exactly,
and actually going to whoever's going to risk their life,
exactly.
Who are the mercenaries going?
How much? Exactly, and it's. Because coming on the heels of you've got Flamin' Hot and Sound of Freedom. By the way, the actual Sound of Freedom is, spoiler alert.
Oh,
that's a Sound of Freedom, which to me sounds it's Queen. We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
Which is the first thing I thought of it. And again, it's like I'm watching this movie and I feel like a terrible person because I'm like going. When you have this theme of a movie, it also makes it to where disingenuous people can criticize other people, like, "Oh, you don't like Sound of Freedom? Well, something must be wrong with you."
Oh,
insinuation behind that kind of stuff, and all that. That's
Okay, so thank you, Cesareo Garasa.
Yes,
columnist, musician, columnist of the Bakersfield Californian. Don't forget to go to Bakersfield.com right now. Look up the lowdown. The anniversary of Heather's
on July 30th at 4:00 at Edward Cinema. Barbie and Oppenheimer out today.
Or go see Sound of Freedom.
Or see Sound of Freedom and see for yourself.
If you want to feel bad,
and you will, and it'll affect you. You will be affected, but the acting is very, very good, especially the kids. And go watch it. But I will say this: the theater was packed. So buy your tickets in advance if you want to see this movie to see what it's all about.
That's it. All right. Okay. Thanks, Cesareo.
The Bakotunes podcast with Matt Munoz. New episodes every week. And for the latest, be sure to follow us at Bakotunes on Instagram and Twitter. That's BAKOTUNES. And be sure to like us, rate us, comment at us, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next time.